Unlock the power of cinematic slow motion with your Canon Eos Rp, turning everyday moments into breathtaking visual masterpieces. To start, let's dive into your Canon Eos Rp settings. The key to smooth slow motion lies in your frame rate. Navigate to your camera's movie shooting menu. Select high frame rate and choose your desired frame rate. For most applications, 60 frames per second or even 120 frames per second will give you a fantastic slow motion effect. Remember, the higher the frame rate, the slower you can play back your footage. However, this also means your camera will capture more frames per second, which can affect your shutter speed and lighting. This brings us to shutter speed. In manual movie mode, when shooting at high frame rates, your shutter speed needs to be at least double your frame rate to avoid flicker and achieve a natural motion blur. For example, at 60 frames per second, aim for a shutter speed of 1/120th or faster. At 120 frames per second, this would be 1/240th or faster. Lighting is crucial, especially at faster shutter speeds. You'll likely need more light to compensate for the shorter exposure time. Consider using an external light source or filming in a brighter environment. Once you've captured your footage, it's time for post-processing to bring out the best of your slow motion and import your video clips into your preferred video editing software. Now, here's the magic in your editing timeline. You'll change the playback speed of your clip. If you shot at 60 frames per second and want to play it back at a standard 30 frames per second, you'll simply set the playback speed to 50%. If you shot at 120 frames per second and want to play it back at 30 frames per second, you'll set the playback speed to 25% for an even more dramatic effect. For an extra polished look, you can also adjust the speed curves within your editor to create a more nuanced easing in and out of the slow motion effect, giving your footage a truly professional feel. Mastering slow motion on your Canon Eos Rp is about understanding your settings and enjoying the creative possibilities. Now go forth and create your own mesmerizing video moments.